all right. What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is Twin Flames Unite, and we are at it again. And today, well, hold on. I'm tripping. I'm Chris. And I'm Cashapp. What up? All right, y'all. So today, we are going to be talking about integrating with your higher self.
Yes, very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a topic that we get quite a few questions about. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to learn a few things today, some things you might have already known, but you'll be getting some tips also integrating with your higher self.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of this work is going to be something that you're going to be mainly responsible for, but we are going to provide you today with some tools to say, as far as really cultivating a relationship with yourself, just really integrating and bringing everything all together.
Full circle.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it because we don't want to waste your time.
Nope.
All right. So let me go ahead and share this screen and let's get it on and popping, everybody. All right. Awesome. So today, we are going to be talking about integrating with your higher self. All right. And just to start things out, we have a nice little quote for you. Would you mind reading that out, sweetheart?
Absolutely. So, love this quote. A human being changes form, but no state. As the water poured into a flat plate or into a deep jug remains water. Okay. Who was that guy that said, just be water?
Bruce Lee.
Right? No matter its shape, just be water.
Yes. All right. Now, our objective today is twofold. Okay. Wow, that is really bright. Okay. Okay. Our objective today is twofold. The first thing we're going to be diving a little bit into is what are some of the benefits of integrating with your higher self? Okay. And secondly, we're going to be going over a few things to help you discover, a few ways of discovering how to integrate with your higher self.
Yep, we're going to get into it.
All right. So first and foremost, we're going to go into what are some of the benefits of connecting with your true self.
Now, this is a really, really good question. Okay. So you're going to experience lowered or completely diminished anxiety. All right. You know, we all remember when we're anxious, we're in the future.
Yes.
All right. Now, the next thing you'll notice is lowered or completely diminished depression. And what is depression? When we're thinking about the past, when we're thinking about things that we want to change, or we're in the state of coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right. Next thing is openness and receptivity to life. So which means accepting your current reality. You know, being able to be in the moment and really find that bliss. Okay. Next one is creativity and inspiration in spirit. All right. If you look at inspiration, you will see spirit in inspiration. All right. Next one is enhancement of intuition and spiritual and also personal gifts. So ritual, if you look at the word spiritual, it has ritual in it. Right. You can't spell spiritual without the ritual. And that's just something that you repeat, something that's repetitive, right? Like meditation.
Spiraling around.
Next one is greater tolerance and patience. All right. Giving things time to unfold. Like, you know, the day that you plant the seed is not the same day that you get to enjoy the fruit, right? Also, no longer fearing death. That's a big one for everyone.
Big one.
This is huge. People are afraid of death, and you can see the state of the world right now. Everybody is so afraid of death that they're actually leaving before their time.
Yes.
All right. Developing a mystical perception of life, right? And also cultivating unconditional love for self and for others.
Yes.
So filling your cup first and then pouring from a cup that's actually you pouring from the overflow of that cup.
Right. And these are some essential benefits as far as being connected with your true self or your higher self. One in particular is the one about no longer fearing death. Okay. Because you'll find out that once you really get a good relationship with yourself, you'll understand that we don't want to steer your boat, but from what we have discovered is that once we understood that we are energy, okay, and just going back to the science, energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transferred, So with that being said, when you recognize who you truly are and you connect with who you truly are, you know that you never die.
Right.
Okay. So these are some major benefits. Definitely some things to really go through and ponder on. And if anything, this should be motivation for you to really get connected with your higher self, with your true self, so that you can really experience breakthroughs.
And bliss.
All right. So let's get into it, because that's just the basic. I mean, benefits are really cool, but let's see how can we, what are some ways that we can connect with our higher self? All right. So we just have a few areas that we're going to jump into. And once again, these are the things that we're about to go into are some things for you to really ponder on. And when you really ponder on these things, it's going to open you up. Because if you're really stepping into that logical side of thinking, it's going to make you really dive a little bit deeper and get a little bit more connection. I heard Forbidden Knowledge say one time that if you're in a relationship with somebody, like for me, like I have to know when Leisha's birthday is. I have to know what is her favorite flower, her favorite color, like things of that nature. Like we have to know these things in order to build a really good relationship to the point that we can really integrate with one another and have a very fluid relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it. Let me get back into it. Let's get the screen back up here. All right. So going into our first point to ponder on, which is discover the face of your higher self. Okay. Now, just like going back into dating, we want to be with the individual who is most appealing to us.
Right.
Okay. Now, this is where your imagination comes into play. Okay. Because your higher self, the individual that you see as all knowing, all seeing, all everywhere and nowhere at the same time, you want to know, what does your higher self look like?
And this is for the sake of the mind, of course.
Oh, yeah. Because in actuality, you really can't, when you really get along in the process, you'll discover that having these definitions as far as the visualizations may not be that key, but it helps in cultivating a relationship. Because to a certain degree, because I know Leisha's spirit and her energy, I can almost care less about what she looks like. But that's for a whole nother video.
That's another video. So, because we are visual, most of us are visual creatures, right? So you might like to use visualization, inner journey, self-hypnosis to help you with this process, of course. Now, although your higher self, like my baby said, is ultimately beyond all labels and forms, it helps to have a visual depiction to help you, again, for the human mind. So this is what this exercise is for.
Yeah. So at this point, if you're watching this on the replay, this would be an awesome opportunity to just kind of pause through these videos, through this video, so that you can actually jot some things down, take a moment to ponder on it. And as you ponder upon this, like for myself, for example, like I've been visualizing my higher self, and my higher self has longer locks, very muscular. I just imagine him being all shiny and stuff, He's got on the Dragon Ball Z pants with the shoes, he doing everything.
Oh, gosh.
And the funny thing is that I started to realize the other day when I was looking in the mirror, I was looking at my body, it's like, hold up, I'm starting to look like my own visualization. So that's when you're really starting to bring things together and stepping into your power.
As the man thinketh.
So it's he and she. All right. So let's move on.
Amen.
And a woman.
I got it. All right.
All right. So you want to visualize, what does the face of your higher self look like? Okay. Now, this is where the next part comes into play, is how does your higher self feel?
Now, this is really important.
Like, do they have smooth skin, long flowy hair? What color are the eyes? Like, mine are brown, but do you want your higher self to be brown?
Right. And you can also connect with your intuition to help you answer this question. Okay, that's really key. You know, our intuition is the voice of our soul, our higher self. And it provides direct access to this internal part within us, right?
Yes.
So you want to pay attention to that, all right? So pay attention to what the voice of your intuition feels like. Not always what it sounds like, well, even though that too, but more so what it feels like within you, okay? It is like a soft whisper, all right? Really soft. So pay attention to that stillness. Perhaps it is a feeling of inner stillness, calmness, compassion, or just a deep knowing. You just
very deep knowing.
You just know, and you don't know how you know. All right, so that could be a key.
Yeah, and just know those whispers, they do get louder, but let's just say on the level of how we're talking right now.
Right.
Because once again, if you're envisioning your higher self, this person or this entity has 100% respect for you. Okay. And not going to yell at you like, hey, get up and do. No.
Right.
It could be like, hey, you want to go outside and put your feet on the ground? Yeah.
Grounding might be good today. You know, those nudges that you get.
Yeah. So yeah, just, excuse me, getting a little bit off topic. Okay. Because we're talking about hearing the voices and everything, but you want to get into the aesthetics of your higher self,
right?
Because it makes a difference when you can hold this sage in your hand and you can feel it, like you're bringing more of what's in here into this world.
There you go.
So you feel the texture and you're able to see it, you're able to hold it, you're giving it form. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that when you are thinking about your higher self, you know, go ahead, feel yourself a little bit.
It's okay.
It's okay to feel yourself. Just go ahead and get into it and embrace it. Okay. And for the next thing to ponder on is, like we were saying before, what messages is your higher self trying to give you?
You got to pay attention. So you might like to explore the automatic writing, right? So that's one thing that you might want to do. So sometimes I do it because I write poetry. So a lot of times my higher self I will get messages from my higher self through my writing. All right. Dream analysis. I know my baby is a big dreamer, so he gets a lot of his insight from dreaming. Right. So you want to journal, keep a dream journal, and even use like oracle cards, because we use oracle cards all the time to connect with our higher self and get really good messages that way. Right. You can also try developing more body awareness. That's a big one.
Yes.
Like really being super aware of your body. Right. And use your inner visceral mindfulness as a way of tuning into the present moment in guidance. You can get tons of guidance from the present moment. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift. So you have to be aware of that present moment so that you can receive that gift.
Yes.
All right. It could be in the form of a message. It could be an answer that you had a question to, because the solutions are there before the problems. But we do have to be aware before we can really tune into those solutions. We have all the answers that we seek externally. They're all inside of us, by the way. It's just sometimes when we are not aware, when we're not in that present moment, and we get comfortable. The world has taught us how to externalize our power.
Yes.
So we get so comfortable in just that continuous externalization, and it draws us, from within. So the more that you start turning that wheel back inwards, this is when you start developing that relationship with the higher self, and you find your solutions there, you find your peace there, you find your guidance there. Now, I know meditation is another powerful way of connecting with your insight, offered by your higher self, of course. So you want to get in some meditation practices. That's another ritual.
Yes. And try not to, just a little note, try not to get too hung up on receiving the messages in one or two forms.
Right.
You know, whether it's you get a message in meditation, or you get your messages through oracle reading or some other type of divination tools. Because as I think you mentioned just a moment ago, is that you have to pay attention to your body, because your body is still connected to your higher self. And so if you're not paying attention to what those divination cards or the messages that you are receiving, then your higher self can send a message through your stomach and be like, oh, hold on, this situation don't feel right. Or you may feel a pain for no apparent reason. And then you want to look into how that is affected on your subtle bodies, as far as how that's affecting you. Because in some shape, form, or fashion, messages are being sent to you. You just have to be open to receive them.
Exactly.
All right. Awesome. So let's get back into it. Boom. Okay. So yeah, what messages does your higher self have for you? Open up and take a listen. All right.
A small listen.
Now, for this next one, now this is something that we do our best to do on a daily basis. If it's 5 minutes or if it's an hour, whatever you do, it needs to be done on a daily basis.
Right. Just make time for silence, contemplation, and do this every day. And my baby said, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes, go take a walk in nature, just take that time for yourself so that you can breathe and you can be in that moment. What your feelings are, thoughts, what's going through your head. Don't identify with the thought. That's one thing you got to remember. Don't identify with the thought. Okay. You just have to be aware of the thought. All right. And then you can write it down. You can journal, whatever those feelings are, whatever you're tuning into, go ahead and write it down.
Yeah. So that's a good way to really integrate with your higher self. Because once again, this is so important, because when you are really truly integrated in alignment with your higher self, everything just flows. All of the worry goes out of the window, because once again, your higher self is looking at things from a higher vantage point, and they can tell you what's coming around the corner, or what's 10 miles or 100 miles down the road that you need to avoid.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's get back into it.
Get that connection going.
All right. So next up, now this is a biggie, because if you're trying to get light, you need to get light.
Literally.
Okay. So you need
literally. If you're trying to see, you got to let go.
Yes.
Because it's weighing you down, literally.
So just real simple, what things can you surrender or let go of? Okay. Because one of the biggest reasons why so many of us struggle to connect with our higher selves is that we're carrying too much mental and emotional baggage.
Yes. And it weighs us down. It keeps us dense. Vibrationally, we're dense. And what happens with density, it sinks to the bottom. It's just the way it is. It's not like a good or bad. It just is.
Right.
So you definitely want to free yourself up, free your mind and free your spirit and let go of those, unwanted emotions, those thought forms that are not serving you anymore. The belief systems that you have that are keeping you bondage and tied to a certain way of experiencing life. It might be time to evolve those things and let it go so that you can really get that connection going again.
Right. All right. So let's get back into it. So yeah, this is an awesome time to start letting go. All right. Now, here's another major key. This is just another thing to really help in the integration with your higher self. And that is finding more ways you can accept and love yourself and others more. Okay.
Yep. This is very, very important. Like the more you love, think about it. Your higher self is you. Okay. So the more that you love yourself, this will naturally start bridging that connection. The more you love, the more you love, you feel, literally. The more life expands for you. And the more deeply you can embody your higher self. And learning how to love yourself is a crucial way to experience your true